Hey everybody, it's me, Ashley Brock. I know I look a little tired now because I am tired. It's been a long day, you guys. But everything's going great, and I just want to update you guys with me on the camera with my kids, Ozzy's asleep now. I cut the workout video short earlier because Ozzy was having a issue because the cars were passing red lights in front of him. And it made shorten his time to walk, and so the cars were also coming after the time was out, for him to walk through. Were also very pressing, like trying to get really close. It got so bad to the point that Ozzy didn't want to go into this little store that we're going to buy our little snacks at, and he started pulling his hair and hitting his head on the wall. Ozzy never does stuff like that, you guys. But he is getting closer to the age of puberty, and I just wanted to bring some awareness for that. As a child on the spectrum gets closer to puberty, more so I really want to say a male autistic person getting close to puberty, it happens, and it becomes hard to deal with. And honestly, I had a dream last night. I'm going to be real with you guys. I had a dream last night, okay? And I didn't know why I had this dream. I never have dreams like this ever. And I had a dream that Ozzy started flickering his eyes and crying, and then looking at me. And then I was like, "Are you okay, Ozzy?" And he looks at me and he says, "Sometimes I feel crazy." I was just like, "Why did I?" And in my dream, I went and I helped him. I was like, "Wait, it's okay." And I was having a conversation with him, but it was just a dream, no. And I woke up in the morning, I'm like, maybe that's like a sign someone started talking and expressing himself. But then I had the incident at the store, and I usually would have been like, "Ozzy, like, someone's gonna think I'm not taking care of you, like, stop." It's a major concern for autistic parents, and I know that I'm not the only one. And with my autism too, I'm always like, okay, I'm not gonna watch them right, But this kind of stuff happens sometimes when people are not being, respectful, cautious. There's rules, and that limit on that walk is for a reason. They set that time limit for a reason, and which, by the way, I think it should be longer. Okay, they're not acknowledging the combination of physical health issues and on top of that a dual autism. Physical and autism. It is hard, And then you don't understand how many autistic people they have, and you have to be careful. I'm scared to walk now sometimes. We had to cut the video short because of that. Ozzy it was really scary because I'm scared for my son. I'm worried about, oh my God, my poor baby, how's he processing this? But then I remembered that dream that I had, and I was just like, okay, maybe God gave me that dream for a reason, to help be more understanding and not panic. If I know my son is really troubled and confused and not understand what's happening like that, different types of autism, you guys. It's gonna make me be like, I don't care what the authorities say. I'm gonna be more I don't care what the clerk at the place is gonna say, and I don't care what the customers in the store are gonna say. Everybody can just freaking wait, okay? That's the love of my life right there. So it allowed me, that dream actually, it clicked for me. I was like, wow, I don't know what that means. I'm not saying I don't know, but I believe that it was God, okay? Not just me. You can explain it in science. You're like, okay, I've been gathering this information, and then my mind was, subconsciously gathering outcoming of these type of events. But however you want to explain it, okay, science, God, whatever. I had an intuition of some sort, knowing that I needed to understand that Ozzy sometimes feels like he doesn't understand what's happening. Sometimes Ozzy feels scared because he doesn't know what's happening, and he doesn't understand why. Why is this? When I was younger, I didn't have that type of outrage. My family was so abusive, I didn't have time to process an emotion like that. I was just straight in fear, and I thought that I was just wrong and I was bad. When a child has a lot of love, like the way I give Ozzy, he made me feel scared, I don't know what's happening. like, my mom's so nice to me, everything's great, and then all of a sudden, things just get, out of control. And I don't know how to feel right now. That dream really made me, like, feel my son, because, like, I grew up a different type of autism because my family was so mean that I was so conditioned to the cruelness and the mean and the uncomfortableness. I'm going to cry, guys. But I know that was for a reason, and I hope that any parent that has a child that has these things, these episodes in public, I don't like calling them episodes. It's like, in reality, I wouldn't call them episode because people were breaking the law and doing dangerous things. People should follow the freaking law, okay? And parents shouldn't be stigmatized if their child's having an outburst when they're autistic in public. But it happens all the time. I don't get up, I don't react to it. I'm get very defensive, but I shouldn't have to get defensive and trying to defend my kids and fight with people because they're cussing me and my kids out, But this happens in real life, you guys. If there's an incident where someone's breaking the law, someone's doing something stupid around us, it'll end up affecting us because of our response to it, And I think there needs to be more awareness for that, okay? My son is, I know that he's getting older, he's about to hit puberty, and I'm very concerned for him. When I say concerned, I mean cautious and prepared, and, I'm ready, which means I'm going to do more research, soon. I'm going to start my research. He goes back to school on the 14th. I'm going to jump into my computer because I'm not a boy on the spectrum, I'm an autistic female on the spectrum, and my upbringing was very different. So I think that there may be a different effect if you are, coddled and protected, and if you grew up in major trauma, And I need to make sure that my son's emotional development, is where it should be. I grew up so messed up, but it did a different effect where I was, ready for everything but go mode, but didn't feel very close to anybody, and scared, but in a different way, And I don't want my son to feel any of that. But I want him to be ready and prepared the same way I became, but without the abuse, and without the trauma, and without the stigma society. So right now I'm really researching on how I can do that for him. So if you guys think I'm too obsessed with it, that's crazy. I'm autistic. I'm very analytical. Okay. When I was a child, I remember wanting to make my own clothes and not use electricity. My parents said I was nuts. They're like, we're already poor. Why do you have lights? Why not use them? And I just wanted to know how to survive. The very autistic thing about us. I think we like to understand the ins and outs of everything. So I need to help my son do that without, it's hard for me to teach him how to do that. I had to do that because my family is so crazy. But I need to learn how to teach him how to do that without the trauma associated with it, If you guys think I'm crazy for making this video, well, whatever, you don't get autism, okay? I'm just trying to understand how I became, I was so lower, I don't want to use the word term, but to help neurotypicals understand, they would have considered me very low functioning, okay? I had many challenges, and somehow I came out of it, and I needed to teach my son how to do the same thing, but without the stigma of society. I didn't even record my son when I started seeing him panic. I immediately put my camera up and threw my phone under my kid's stroller. And I do well with emotions and I do well with separating my emotions from what's logically happening. So it's easy to address it in emergency status, but I'm a mother, whether I'm autistic or not. I'm still a human being, and I still have feelings, and it still hurt me. I need to understand this, and I will. Trust me, I will. I'm very obsessive when it comes to this. My son's in real need. I'm never going to give him psych meds. I don't believe in that, so this is going to be my next project. I love projects. With my autism, I'm I just thrive off projects. So my kid's starting school soon, Izzy, and my next project is going to be major studying. Major research, out of the box research, not what people tell you. I'm gonna find new information, you guys. Trust me. I'm gonna help my son. It's